Welcome to my channel, Happy Crochet Club. Today we will make tissue paper box cover for smaller box and bigger box. Here, take off 11.5 centimeters. (23 centimeters) and bigger box. The same 23 and 11.5. Difference just here. 9 centimeters, and this smaller box 7 centimeters. Try show you button. This for smaller box and bigger. I used double knit yarn or light worsted weight yarn number 3 and 3mm crochet hook. And we can start with chain 42. Join with slip stitch first chain, in the same very first chain we will make double crochets. Here very first chain 3 and double crochet 4. Next 19 stitches, double crochet. Start here, next chain, 19 double crochet. And continue. Next chain 5 double crochet in the same chain. Next, here very small chain, this one, here 5 double crochet in the same chain. Next, 19 double crochet, start very first chain here, small, you see. Nineteen. And continue. Last chain, 5 double crochet in the same chain. Join with slip stitch. In the third chain we made in the beginning chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Here in the third chain slip stitch. Chain 3. When you finish round, then slip stitch will be here in the third chain. Double crochet, first stitch, not the same but first here. Double crochet, next 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Next 23 stitches, double crochet, here where we made 5 double crochet in the same chain, in the middle stitch we again make 5 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and third stitch in the middle we making 5, but now make 23 double crochet. And continue. "23 stitches done. Next stitch 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Next double crochet, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, next stitch, 5 double crochet in the same stitch. There was 23, then 5 in the same stitch, then 4 double crochet, and next stitch 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Next 23 stitches, double crochet. And continue. "23 stitches, done, left 3 stitches. For beginners this stitch, previous round slip stitch, we working only in these 3. Next 5 double crochet in the same stitch. If too fast for you, just stop video, make these stitches what I say and then continue. Next 2 double crochet, 1, 2, join into third chain, 1, 2, 3. This loop try make small. If we make it big, then here will be long like lines. Try make smaller, with maximum small. 1, 2, 3. And we join with slip stitch. Chain 3, start here first stitch, here the same stitch, and next stitch we count like first, double crochet, next stitch double crochet, next stitch double crochet, 3 double crochet, next stitch, here you see 5 stitches, in the middle into third stitch, we making 5 double crochet. Next 27 stitches, double crochet, 27. Continue, and then I see you here we do together. "27 stitches. Next again you see here these 5, 2 we already used, in the middle third stitch we making 5 double crochet. Actually no need count, you can make in this middle third stitch 5, here 5, here 5, but I count to make sure all is correct, because later when we will make button we need 122 stitches, and better if I count for you. Next 5 in the same, and here 1 2 3 4 5, and in third stitch here will be 5 double crochet. Now next 8 double crochet, eight, next stitch 5 double crochet, next 27 stitches double crochet, and continue. "27 stitches done. Next 5 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 2 5. Here we see 4 left, double crochet in each stitch, 4. Into third chain slip stitch, 1 2 3, and this one make very small, this loop. Then small loop, then less can see this seam. Next chain 3, first stitch here, five double crochet, 1 2 3 4 5, start in first stitch, next 5 double crochet in the same stitch, next 31 stitch, double crochet until this third in the middle. There we will make 5 and continue 31. Done. Next 5 in the same stitch. Next, double crochet, this third of 5 this stitch into third we will make 5, 12, 1, 12 stitches. Next 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Next 31, here double crochet, double crochet in each stitch, 31, and continue. Done. Next stitch 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Next 6 stitches, double crochet, join with slip stitch into third chain, 1, 2, 3, this loop make small, slip stitch. Next chain 3, start here in the first stitch, double crochet, 7 1, 2, 7. Next stitch 5 in the same stitch. Seven and 5. Next 35 stitches double crochet. And continue. Done. Next stitch 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Next 16 stitches double crochet. And continue 16. Done. Next stitch 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Next 35 stitches double crochet. Done. Next stitch 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Next 8 stitches double crochet, join the slip with slip stitch into third chain 1, 2, 3. This loop makes small, slip stitch, Now chain 3. Here will be 3 rounds, but you have to repeat later. This will first start very first stitch, not the same, first stitch, double crochet in each stitch. And continue. Last stitch will be here. Done. Now we making one more double crochet here in previous round chain space. Join 1, 2, 3, third chain. Should be just without this chain 3, 122 stitches. Next round chain 2. When you repeat the next rounds, you no need increase here stitch. 122 will be when you make next 3. I will show you later. Now half double crochet in this first stitch, half double crochet in each stitch. And continue last stitch here, where last double crochet. Done. Join with slip stitch into second chain 1, 2. This loop makes small. Done. Next chain 1, single crochet in this first stitch, not the same but next first stitch, single crochet, then front post and worked along this chain 3, double crochet, next also double crochet round we working, single crochet in first stitch, then front post double crochet along chain 3, 1 round down, then front post, the same place, double crochet, and next 3 we have join all, and here you see these 2 stitches, single crochet. Next these 3 stitches, front post and worked double crochet, join all 4 loops together, and these 2 stitches, single crochet, Next 3 stitches front post and worked. Next 2 single crochet. And continue. Next 3 front post double crochet and worked. Together, and here these 2 stitches single crochet. One more time. Next 3 stitches front post double crochet and worked. Join all loops together. Next 2 single crochet. And continue the same. Next 3 front post, join together, and then next 2 you will see straight away single crochet. See, next 2, done. Last 3 stitches front post double crochet and worked. Join together and single crochet. Here you see previous round slip stitch, chain 1 and first worked stitch. And join with slip stitch and first worked stitch. For this round, first worked stitch and before in third chain and second chain. Chain 3, start in this stitch, this big loop stitch here, double crochet, here you see, double crochet in each stitch, and continue. Last stitch will be here. I made 122 stitches. Now we join with slip stitch in third chain 1, 2, 3. This stitch for beginners, this previous round slip stitch. If you think here need work, no need. And third chain, slip stitch. Make small these loops. Chain 2, first stitch make half double crochet in each stitch, half double crochet, last stitch double crochet, and this top will be half double crochet, and continue. Done. Join with slip stitch in this second chain. Now we will repeat this round with front post, chain 1, single crochet in this first stitch, front post here were chain 3, along this chain 3, first front post, next front post, double crochet, and next. Join all loops, single crochet 1, 2, next 3 stitches, front post, double crochet, and worked second, third, two single crochet, 1, 2, and continue. For bigger box I made, how to show, one, two, three, 4 rounds, and then front post, back post, and here you need 3, 1, 2, and then continue one more set, double crochet round, half double crochet round, and front post, double crochet round. This one you finished, and then make one more, this line. Done. Last stitch, single crochet, then join with slip stitch, first worked stitch, repeat this 3 rounds. For bigger box 2 more times, for small box 1 more time. Done. 4 rounds for bigger box and 3 rounds for small. Now for both boxes, chain 3 and start here in the first stitch, double crochet in each stitch, continue, last stitch here, done. Join with slip stitch into third chain, chain 1, front post in the first stitch, and back post, front post, double crochet and back post, and continue 1 stitch front post, double crochet, 1 stitch back post. Last, in this chain 3 space along, make front post, double crochet, join round with slip stitch, first worked stitch, done.